Jackson Anchor Initiative and a board member of the Jackson DDA, Terry Mierzwa. Hi, Terry.
Hey, Bart. Thanks for having me here today.
You bet. Happy New Year.
And you as well. Yeah, it's going to be another great year in Jackson.
Well, every year it's just been a year of growth, and when you look at some of the things the Anchor Initiative has been responsible for, you've got to, I think, trace back to the very beginnings of the Anchor Initiative. It's played out pretty much the way it was designed.
I think maybe even better than expected. So if we think back to downtown Jackson several years ago, we think about a lot of vacant storefronts, far fewer restaurants, lots of parking spaces available. And it was actually the brainchild of Patty Poppy, then the CEO of Consumers Energy, who said, let's pull together the largest employers around the county who are all having similar issues of trying to attract talent to Jackson, Michigan. And let's form this group to work on things we can do to make the city a better place for people to live, work, and play. And really with initial focus of downtown and the notion that if you get the core downtown right, then you can start building out in concentric circles from there.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the city management during those early days of the Anchor, they pretty much had the same mindset. Start really in the heart of the community and then build out. And it seems to be working.
Sure. I mean, the city certainly made a lot of improvements to the infrastructure downtown. Obviously, it was a hassle, and Michigan Ave and other streets are torn up, but we now have the benefits of the beautiful streetscape downtown. But really with Anchor, when we started, it was kind of the old chicken and egg problem. Do we focus on building up housing downtown and getting a lot of new residents, which will then attract retailers and restaurants to open? Or is it the other way around? Get those amenities and then people will come downtown. And we just sort of organically worked and helped support both, and both have happened. And I'm recalling that one of the early things Anchor did was a market study of housing potential in downtown Jackson. And this was 7, 8, 9 years ago, and came out and said there is unmet demand for well more than 1,000 housing units downtown. And people scoffed at that. I was a little skeptical myself. But when you see every place that has been put up downtown, starting with Lofts on Louis, the 200, the Albert Kahn Apartments, the Francis Senior Lofts.
They're all full.
They're all full. They get, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
They fill up quickly. And we have more in development other way. You have the Allen Lofts, the old Allen School over by the hospital, in the process of being converted to apartments. And more to come. I heard recently the Adams Hotel looks like that could become a boutique hotel here in the near future. And the biggest whale, the biggest prize of all up the street here is the Hayes Hotel. And I've never been more confident since Consumers moved out in 2003 that we're going to get that thing fully developed and operating again in the next couple years.
Well, it sounds like the developers from Milwaukee are still high on Jackson.
Absolutely.
But the changes in interest rates might have slowed the progress.
There certainly have been challenges. The developers, Jay Jeffers, they'll be back in town on January 24th to meet with the city and reaffirm their commitment to the project. But yeah, interest rates have gone up, a lot of material costs have gone up, et cetera. So that's increased the challenge. It has not decreased their commitment to the project, and they're continuing to invest a lot of money, and I'm very optimistic again. We're going to see that happen.
Greenwood Place apartments also in planning stages, and also there's space across from Steve's Ranch that I understand the developer is getting close to pulling the trigger on.
Right. So we're getting a mix of both market rate and affordable housing downtown. So levels for everybody. It's interesting too that it's a bit bimodal in a lot of young people maybe in the early parts of their careers, maybe don't have kids yet, wanting to move downtown. And there's also another group of seniors who time to downsize from the house and the yard and find a smaller place. And downtown's becoming a more attractive place for that, be able to walk out and take care of a lot of business and entertainment and enjoyment downtown.
Yeah, and more employers coming down too. We've got the Commonwealth Associates about to move in to the former Comerica building downtown.
Yeah, that's so exciting, and Commonwealth is Associates is one of our first members of the Anchor Initiative, and very exciting to see them move downtown and right across the street from the Hayes Hotel, and I think we'll see their employees in there within the next month or so. And again, the more people we bring downtown, we're seeing this cycle go on. So we're getting more people living downtown and certainly visiting downtown. That's encouraging more retail, more restaurants. We're seeing those storefronts fill up with great plans in the works for several more things coming.
Well, certainly there's improved or increased attendance at the downtown events. We've even got more events. Just this last year, we added a couple of new things: the Hispanic Heritage Festival and the Chili Cook-Off. But
Right.
those, you've been, I think, at every one of them. Terry, you and Sue are first in line at all of these events. But that's one of the things you've been pushing as a DDA board members to get more events downtown.
Yeah, I think we see, both the Anchor Initiative and DDA are focused on downtown. Anchor's more focused on economic development, broader economic development. DDA, we've had more focus on events. And it's been great to see those. You mentioned a couple. The cruise-ins have been a long time event of the DDA that continue to get great attendance, bring a lot of folks downtown. Food Truck Tuesdays are fun the last few summers. The Jackson Juneteenth Festival is one that's grown by leaps and bounds in just recent years. So that's another fun one that we sponsor and love having downtown. And we're going to continue to see more. Jackson likes its festival. Jackson eats too, so anything that has food downtown it definitely draws a crowd.
Yeah, obviously Bright Walls, their grand finale, bringing tens of thousands of people to downtown. And I know you've been very close with the Jackson Young Professionals organization. It sounds like they've got something up their sleeve for maybe next year.
It does. We just had an Anchor board meeting last evening, and the Young Professionals current president, Sean Palmer, is an honorary member of our board and attends our meetings. And he teased that, didn't give us any details, but yeah, they are cooking up what is going to be their next big activity downtown. So we'll all look forward to that. We know it'll be great and run very well by that group.
Yeah, they're amazing. And I think they're 10 years old this year.
Is it 10 years?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
It's amazing what they've accomplished, and the fact that they are still at and still a very strong and healthy organization after 10 years.
Right, and recruiting new members. Yeah. So it's I think again a great year for downtown. I'm walking from where I parked. Hear the music over the speakers downtown, which is something that Anchor Initiative did in coordination with DDA and the city, and look for us to expand that out a couple more blocks in every direction in the coming year.
I know having certain services available for downtown workers and residents, it's another focus of the Anchor. Grocery store, I think that's something from day one you've been keen on. What's the latest on that?
Still something we'd very much like to see, and there are discussions of a couple possibilities, and the more we open up these housing units downtown and get more people living downtown, the more likely that is to happen. So nothing to announce right now, but stay tuned. There are some definite thoughts underway.
All right, and while we have you here in the last couple of minutes, Can you tell us a little bit about your trip west to watch the Wolverines?
Yeah, fantastic trip. We have a lot of family down there, so family we hadn't seen for a few years in person, so it was great to be with them. Is another one of these trips where everything was great except the game itself, which, gosh, I've been going to games for 50 years. I've never experienced such a roller coaster of a game as that one. It just came out on the short side a little bit.
Yeah. What is your feeling on the national championship if Michigan had beat TCU in the semifinal? What would have happened against Georgia?
I think it would have been obviously a more competitive game than we saw. Georgia's awfully tough. Not sure we would have beaten them, but it would have. I would have liked to have seen that, and Sue and I would have been there. We had everything booked, and doggone it, didn't get to make that. So wait till next year.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Georgia might be back at it.
Yeah. Michigan's going to be loaded as well. I think it's going to be another good season.
Well, thanks for all the updates from the Anchor and the DDA.
Thanks for all of your and Karen's and JTB's support for everything downtown. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Board Chair of the Jackson Anchor Initiative, Terry Mierzwa.